Hello and welcome to DFS Talk. Today is Monday, May the 9th, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joined by the one and only Josh Crash Davis to go over this two-game NBA playoff slate for this evening. How are you this morning, Crash?
Doing well, Coach. We had a really nice night last night with our NBA plays and fired up for the Game 4 of the Bucks game. So, yeah.
We sure did. Super proud of the team, and we had a fantastic takedown. First out of, I think it was 473 in the something like that, or bigger than that.
I think, something like that.
And it was the $20 bean tournament on Yahoo. So took that down solo. So that's great stuff. Outlandish, phenomenal ROI. That's what we do here at Coach Talk. And really excited about that. So thanks to all of our Coach Talk team and our members as well, because a lot of chit chat in Discord and all of those little, discussions and pieces of information all help when you build a optimal winning lineup like that. And it was great to have. So all of the listeners out there, if any of you enjoyed in that victory with us, please let us know. We'd love to shout you out some love here on YouTube or on Twitter. On Twitter, you can find us at DFS Coach Talk. Crash is at JP Davis 1982, and I'm at Joe Sarvati. So check us out there as well. I want to thank our presenting sponsor for this podcast, and that is Prizepicks. If you go to prizepicks.com, sign up with your first deposit. They will match you dollar for dollar all the way up to $100 when you use the promo code Coach Talk, all one word, no space. All right, we want to follow up on the takedowns and the big wins that we had here at Coach Talk last night with some other fantastic wins tonight. So we've got two games. We have the extra half an hour, so it's 7:30 game and a 10 o'clock game. And a lot to discuss here. We have quite a bit of a difference on the totals. 12.5 bigger number in the late game compared to the early game. And then we have a real tight spread in the first game and a big spread in the second. So a lot to unpack here. So let's start it off with the Boston Celtics and Milwaukee Bucks. That is the 7:30 game. Milwaukee is favored at home by 1, and it's only a 212 total. 105.5 implied for Boston, 106.5 implied for the Milwaukee Bucks. As far as injuries, nothing that we didn't know. Sam Hauser, who's out of the rotation in Boston, is questionable. And then, of course, we know Chris Middleton is out for Milwaukee. So a couple of things, Crash, before I throw it over to you. That last game, I know you were chewing your nails off. Milwaukee held on literally for dear life.
That was great.
4 taps at the buzzer just about to try to win it.
Right,
That was nuts.
Yeah, and how in the world that Boston got all those rebounds with the Bucks guys that they have, that was crazy to me. So we're lucky enough for them to miss the first 3, and the fourth tip with Horford just was right at the, as the red light came on the buzzer. So
yeah, and it felt like Boston had all the momentum in there at the end. So
really
it was a big win. So no doubt.
I thought we were going to just cruise to victory. It was going to be a nice, relaxing game, finish to the game, and then it got crazy at the end. So
it did. And Milwaukee leads this series, by the way, 2-1. So this is a massive, massive game. As we all know, if you lose but if you're Boston and go down 3-1, it is extremely hard to come back. But at 2-2, it's a 3-game series. Then all bets off. Anything can happen. And in both games yesterday, Dallas and Philadelphia were in the same position as Boston, and they were able to win and make both of those series 2-2. So if somehow Boston and Memphis win tonight, which is unlikely, but if they do, you'd have all 4 series 2-2. But I don't know, after that we had so many compliments and tweets saying how much they loved your bold dome. They were looking for that bald appearance again. So I don't know. I know for sure you're going to agree with me today. So I'm thinking it's Milwaukee and Golden State.
Okay.
So no side wager today.
Yeah, no side wager, but I really won't be surprised if Boston wins this game. I'm a little concerned about this game. So, obviously if they lose, if the Bucks lose this game, I think they're in big trouble. So I feel like they got to win it, because I could be wrong, but I don't think we can win a game 7 in Boston. I just don't. So
then this game is beyond crucial. This is the whole series to you, pretty much.
For me, it's a huge, huge game. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, we can go up 3-1. I like our chances, but if we go back to Boston tied, it's gonna be tough.
Well, let's take a quick look at Boston. If we dive into their box score from the last game, the guy, again, my goodness, Al Horford, drinking from the fountain of youth here.
Oh, my word. Yeah.
He was 9 for 17 from the field, 4 threes, 16 rebounds, Crash.
Yeah.
5 assists, 2 blocks, no turnovers. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, there has to be. I mean, there doesn't have to be, but I would think there would be some regression here from Al Horford.
There has to be.
I mean,
he played 39 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, he's out there playing like a young man, and he's been dominating. I mean, he had 4 for 7 from 3, 57 DraftKings points, so he was their top scorer. So just crazy numbers from Horford.
I mean, are you considering rostering him?
Considering him, I mean, I think you have to consider him. But he's 7,400 on FanDuel, so it's not as easy and obvious on that site. But 6,600 on DraftKings, I mean, that's not bad at all.
No, that's a bargain. I mean, even if he does regress,
Right. There's no Embiid or Jokic or anything like that on this slate. So it's like, you don't have a big pay-up option at center. So he's definitely in consideration.
I'll mention one thing, because it's gone from a trend to sort of the norm now. You're getting monster minutes from, as we expected, from Tatum and Brown, and pretty much Smart as well. He had missed that one game, but he still got almost 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But it seems like they're trying to keep Robert Williams under 25 minutes no matter what. And that's something that you really have to start looking at, because he's can be so dominant in short stretches, but he was only 5 for 9 in this game, and he's just not getting as many opportunities. But what I was talking about as far as the norm, not the trend, is Grant Williams is a huge part of this team right now, because he's defending Giannis, and he played almost 34 minutes again. Now, he didn't shoot the ball as well this game, only 2 for 9. But if the dude's going to be out there mid-30s in minutes, he's got a good nose for the ball for his size. He had 6 rebounds, 3 blocks, for a smaller guy. Man, he's really high on my radar again.
Yeah. I definitely like him as well. So he is 4,300 on DraftKings.
He's just too cheap for the minutes he's getting. They haven't adjusted it.
Yeah, and he's going to be one of those pivot value plays from Memphis. Memphis is going to get a lot of chalk on their value plays, I think. So and then I think you have to look at Derek White. He's 3,900 on DraftKings. Had 14 points in game 3. He came back, to the bench with Marcus Smart back in the lineup, but he looked like he was more comfortable in that role, which makes sense, because that's the role he's used to playing with Boston, and then going back to San Antonio with DeJounte Murray. So I like White coming off the bench at 3,900. And again, it's another value pivot from the Memphis guys. So
I don't like White. I don't think he's that good. I really don't. And I don't think he's super clutch either, but that's just me. I mean, if he's I don't know, he gets 20 minutes. I think he plays like 15 minutes, and he's just not in consideration for me. I think that Peyton Pritchard probably could get the same 15 minutes, and he had a horrible game. So I'm not playing either one of them, because like you mentioned, I think there's enough value that's opened up in Memphis with Morant likely being out. So for me, I'm going to take the cheap play on Grant, and then the super bonus value play on all-star Al Horford, for God's sake.
Right.
But, I'm back in the same quandary though, and this is what I wanted to ask you: do you spend the extra money for Tatum, or do you go with a pretty expensive Brown when, let's face it, in essence, they're getting, the same amount of shots up, but all of a sudden Tatum 1 rebound and Brown 12. Now I know that's an aberration, but
yeah.
I mean, how do you see that? Or is it make you, I think Brown's going to get a lot more attention than he did compared to Tatum now, but I don't know if that's a smart move. I still think Tatum's a stud.
Yeah.
Which way are you leaning?
Yeah. Tatum is, this will tell you which way I'm leaning. Tatum is my second favorite play on the slate. So,
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Behind Giannis, Tatum is my second favorite play. He's below 10K now on both sites. Obviously, he had a terrible game 3, 4 for 19, 0 for 6 from 3. Yeah. I expect 50 to 60 fantasy points from Tatum tonight.
I think that's a great call. And I'll tell you what, there are multiple times during the season when it seems like Tatum just throws in a really dud game. I remember the one game, I think he was 1 for 16 or something really pathetic. And then the next night he went like, 14 for 18, something ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I'm not concerned at all. I still like Tatum better than Brown myself.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, Brown's been on fire lately, and I don't know if that's going to, continue. I think that, like you said, they'll focus more of their defensive attention on him. So if Tatum gets 50 to 60 fantasy points, but they can keep the other guys in check, I think Milwaukee can win that way. So.
Yep. And I'll give you obviously the mic on Milwaukee. You're the expert, but the one thing I said in the last podcast very clearly, and it was why I played them both, is with Chris Middleton going down, it just made Giannis and Holiday like 2 of my favorite plays on every slate, because nobody else can put the ball in the hoop for them, in my opinion. And how about this? They were combined 27 for 60.
Yeah.
That they got 60 shots up between them. You're going to give me that 38 minutes from Giannis, 42, almost 43 from Holiday, with 60 shots between the two. Combined, they had 19 rebounds. I mean, do you just plug these 2 in and figure the rest out? Or, I don't see another spot to feel super comfortable with. I am not playing Grayson Allen. He looks like Garbaggio.
Well, we'll see.
You're sticking with Grayson Allen?
He's my secret squirrel today. So.
Oh my God! You know what happens when the squirrels run in front of the road and become roadkill? Yeah. That's what I think about Grayson
Allen today. We'll see. Yeah, I have a feeling with Grayson Allen today, kind of like I had with Brook Lopez.
Well, you were right there. So hats off to Brook Lopez. If you can pull that out of your hat after 0 for 3 for Grayson Allen, looked like he should be down at the rec center playing pickup.
Yeah, I mean, he's 4,200 on FanDuel, he's 4,300 on DraftKings, so he hasn't done anything in this series. He had 5 points in game 2, didn't score a point in game 3, but then in the games 3 and 4 against the Bulls, when Middleton went down at first, he just stepped up in 27 and 22 points. So I feel like he has to do it because, Connaughton, he's going to do what he does. Portis is going to get you 10 to 15 points pretty much every game. And then Lopez is going to get his, depending on the slate, 8 to 12 or whatever he's going to get you. So I feel like somebody else has to step up. And to me, it's going to be Grayson Allen. So we'll see.
That would be a bold call. So, Colin, if you're listening,
50 points. I'm thinking he's 25 fantasy points, somewhere around there, but enough to hit his value for his price. So,
I mean, I'm willing to make another bald-headed bet if you want. I'll take Grayson Allen under 24 fantasy points for a bald-headed side bet.
Under 24 fantasy points. I'll think about it.
Oh, you're chicken. Okay. What is his prize pick? I'm going to look for Oh, they don't have fantasy scores up yet.
Yeah, I don't even know what his prize picks play would be, but he
I'll
hasn't
give you
even
one last offer. 23.
threes.
I'll give you 23, dude.
23.
Michael Jordan. I mean, you know, our viewership from women went up by like 72% when they got to see that silky dome of yours. So
I'm gonna go. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'll take it.
We got it on.
So 23 fantasy points. All right.
All right.
So,
For day after tomorrow, then we'll have the next game. So
yeah. So we got to talk about the rest of the Bucks. You had a great call, Coach, on Saturday. 75, I think you said 75 to 80 fantasy score for Giannis, and he ended up with 77.5 DraftKings points with 42 real points. So monster game from Giannis Saturday. I still think he's going to be the highest, you know, or one of the top two scorers on the slate. But I think that Boston's going to focus more attention on him, and he's going to be more of a facilitator like we saw in game one. Yeah. And so that's part of the reason why I like guys like Grayson Allen. I think that they're gonna force him to pass more, and these guys from the outside are gonna have to hit their shots. So I also like Bob Portis for the same reason.
Yeah, he needs to step back up too. You know, he didn't have the best game, but yeah, I mean, I was really proud of that call. It just, and you know, I almost feel the same way today. I don't feel as passionate because I think Boston's going to really try to clamp down, but I don't know how much he can clamp down. He's just such a freak of nature. You can't stop some of what he does. And again, especially now that Ja doesn't look like he's going to play, how do you know, I said 75 to 80 and happened to be right last time. Even if he goes 60 to 65 this time, which is a pretty good regression, but I don't know. You still have to chase 60, 65 fantasy points. And I don't know if I want to do that. So
I don't know if anyone else on the slate can get you that.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else is capable of that. So, you know, I think that's a really interesting deal. And he's still very high on my chart, but I'm still, you know, he and Holiday are just so dominant of the players.
Holiday is definitely going. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Holiday is definitely going to be, you know, it's going to be between him and Steph Curry for me. And I'm leaning more towards Holiday because I think this is going to be a much closer game, and he's getting all that usage. So I feel like you have to go to Holiday.
And massive minutes as well. So yeah, definitely tough. All right. Anything else on the Milwaukee side? I mean, I played Connaughton as my last guy in, and he's not let me down. He played almost 33 minutes, you know, 11 points, 8 rebounds. That's all you can ask for a cheaper guy.
Yeah, he's a value play for sure. He's 3,600 on DraftKings, so I love that price there. 4,500 on FanDuel, so not a must play. And then Lopez, I think that, you know, he's going to do kind of close to what he did last game, but a little bit less offensively. I think I have him for around 25 fantasy points. So
okay, yeah, he played well last time. I'll give him that, no doubt about it. All right, excellent. Let's go on to game 2 here. It is the Memphis Grizzlies and Golden State Warriors. That game starts at 10 o'clock. We know Golden State's leading this series 2-1. And it is Golden State favored by 10.5, 224.5 total, 107 implied for Memphis, and a big 117.5 implied for Golden State, which is 11 points higher than Milwaukee, 10 points higher than Boston, and obviously 10.5 points higher than Memphis. So I don't, you know, the board is telling you to stack Golden State, but we'll see how that looks here. The big news, of course, Ja Morant with that very strange knee grab twist thing that happened towards the end of that game. Looks like he's not going to play. He's listed officially as doubtful, but the coach yesterday said he was out. But, you know, we'll follow that as the day goes on. And then our two favorite guys we mention every day, Aldama and Tilly, are out as well. For Golden State, Iguodala and Payton still out, won't be playing, and Porter more than likely will play, and he hit some big shots off the bench for them. So if we look back at this last game, let's take a pull back and take a look at this last matchup. I mean, definitely a lot more possibilities of scoring in this game. But, the big question will be, what type of impact is Morant going to have? Is it a possibility that it blows out? I'll tell you this, though. Let's talk about it because everybody will be talking about it today. Memphis was ridiculous when Ja sat throughout the season.
It's true.
I'm not sure, but it was something stupid like 20-3.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to the guy that I've gone to all year. I'm just going to start right out of the chute with this because I love Tyus Jones. He only played 13 minutes the last game and was 0 for 5. So I don't think people are going to just go bonkers to go with Tyus Jones.
Right.
I think they're going to be thinking about DeAnthony Melton because DeAnthony played 28 minutes and got 14 shots up. So don't count out Tyus here is all I'm going to say to you.
Yeah.
But if Morant sits, we know that he's all everything to them. He played 36 minutes before the injury. 13 for 21 from the field, another 34 points. I mean, he's breaking records for Memphis in the playoffs. But with him out, all of that usage has to go to some people. You're going to get Dillon Brooks coming back after his suspension for taking out Payton.
Right.
We know he's going to get shots up. Bane is a go-to guy. And then, where do you go from there? Is it Jaren Jackson Jr., Melton, Clark? Tyus Jones, as I suggested, there's going to be a lot of sharing of the basketball with Ja out, and you'll see everybody's usage increase. So what are you looking at initially here with Memphis?
My favorite play for Memphis is going to be Desmond Bane, 5,500 on FanDuel, 6,200 on DraftKings. Did have a little bit better game in Game 3 with 26 DraftKings points, but still nowhere near what we saw from him against the Timberwolves. Yeah. And I think, with Ja out, assuming that he's going to be out, he's going to be the guy that really steps up for them. So Bane's my favorite play. Then I like Brooks. Then I would go with Jones in tournaments and Melton in cash is kind of what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
And about Jaren Jackson and those guys. I don't think that Jackson is as good without Morant. So I like Jackson more when Morant's on the floor.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, it's hard because Zaire Williams played 30 minutes, and he's super cheap, so you can consider him. Xavier Tillman played 22 minutes, and again, as I mentioned, Melton 28. Brandon Clark only 16, which, was really surprising to me. I know he had a few fouls early, but, you had Kyle Anderson getting a chunk of time. Even Conchar got in there. So, it's not as clear as it was, but for me, I want to save some dollars with Tyus Jones. I think Bane and Brooks will be the two guys that get the most shots up, and I still think Clark, is a key component here. Coming off this off game, he was super popular prior to this. I think he gets back in the mix here and steps up. So this is where I'm going to get most of my value. And I think, it's going to be well worth it. The only concern would be if Golden State gets a really good handle on this game and, they're double-digit favorites. What if they get up 20? You're going to have difficulty here getting some of these guys to the finish line. But I don't think you will with like Tyus Jones, DeAnthony Melton, even Brandon Clark. Those guys will probably play down the stretch regardless. Where you have a little bit more, difficulty if it does get out of hand is with Jackson, Bane, and Brooks. But, it's a playoff game. They, again, have played phenomenal with Morant off the floor this year.
Right.
So anybody that thinks, Memphis is going to get killed, how about 20-3 or somewhere in that neighborhood with Ja out? So everybody tightens the belt. Some teams are like that, when they lose one of their best guys, and in this case, their very best guy, they're all sharing a little more load on their shoulders and playing better. So I'm not. I'll have probably 3 Grizzlies tonight. I really will.
I do too in my initial build,
Do you?
and it's just that usage is going to get so spread out, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to predict where it's going to go. But it's still a great value. I mean, all these guys are so cheap for the most part. So yeah, I think you have to have at least 2, but probably 3 in your lineups. So.
I'm with you 100%. And then it's not really a piece of cake with Golden State either. I mean, you look at the shot distribution there. Curry only 14 shots, Clay only 13. Poole has continued to be almost the dominant splash brother somehow. I don't know how this is happening in front of our eyes, but he got 17 shots up again, 11 for 17. You had Wiggins with 10 shots. Kuminga went 8 for 10. That gets people's attention, and so Otto Porter really contributed again. So I don't know. I mean, this is going to be a shuffle the deck situation. Are you going to stick with Poole, or are Curry and Thompson back in play for you?
Yeah, that's what it's going to come down to as far as with Curry is, do we play him or we play Drew Holiday? And I'm leaning more towards Holiday right now. And I think that Jordan Poole is a better play and he's cheaper if you want to go with the Golden State side. And then I like Porter and Kuminga, for some value for Golden State. I think that this game, even if it doesn't completely blow out, I still think those guys are going to get quite a bit of run. And I do expect it to get a little away from Memphis at the end. So I think those guys could get a few more minutes at the end. So I'm thinking like a 10 to 15 point win for Golden State tonight is what I'm thinking, but we'll see.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't think Memphis gets blown out here, but that's just me. And I do think there'll be more points here. So, I'll probably have 2 Warriors at least. So, more than half my lineup coming from this game as opposed to the first game. But, the question is, where do you go? I'm really sort of fed up with Draymond Green, I got to say.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, he's not doing anything like, you expect from Draymond. I mean,
2 for 3 from the field. And I know he does that sometimes, but if he does, usually he has like 10 assists and, 14 rebounds or whatever. And he's just not getting the really big numbers in anywhere. And he's not cheap.
Yeah.
So, maybe it's the wrong time to get off him and he steps up here. I don't know, but Kuminga is so tempting. And, as awesome as Poole's playing, it's still Steph's team. And, my decision is going to come, and I haven't made it yet. If I don't play Giannis, I'm going to play Holiday. If I play Holiday, I'm not going to play Curry. But if I go with Giannis and Curry, like I've done pretty much every game, then it shuffles the deck completely differently for me. Yeah. So I do think this card is extremely tricky. I don't think it's, a lot, some of the plug and plays of value and plug and plays of buy-ups that we've had in some of these days. So I think you're going to see a ton of different builds. Yeah,
definitely.
And I will say, we were getting on Thompson for empty stats. The dude pulled 9 rebounds down and 4 assists and shot, 4 for 6 from 3, which is a low amount of attempts for him. So, he's got to be in play too. 35 minutes, led the team. He played more than anybody else. So
he's 6,500 on FanDuel too. So.
I know his price is down.
Yeah.
So So there's a lot of options here. No question about it.
Yep.
All right. I think that is the main stuff. Let's dive on Prize Picks for our listeners and give out a couple of Prize Picks plays. And then we'll get on down the road so everybody can get ready for these slates.
Okay.
What is your first play?
My first play is going to be Drew Holiday over 1.5 steals. He had 3 steals in game 3. He's gone over that number in all 3 games in the series. and I expect him to continue to be aggressive and get another 2 to 3 steals again tonight.
Very nice. I'm going with Klay Thompson over 3.5 threes.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way he's shooting, and I think he gets up almost double the shots that he did in the last game. Just my feel for where that's going to go. And I think that's a very fair number for him.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going to go with Jason Tatum over 0.5 blocks. He had 4 blocks in game 3.
Wow.
I think he'll come out ultra aggressive unless he gets in foul trouble. I think he goes over that number pretty early in the game, probably before halftime. So I definitely like the over at 0.5 blocks. It seems like a misprice.
It does. And this makes me really smile. My pick is Grayson Allen under PRA 14.5. And if I could, I want to put Allen's picture up there with a hat on, since he's going to cause you to lose yours, man.
We'll see. We'll see.
So that's what we've got. That is it.
So under 14.5 or 14? What's the number?
It's 14.5 under PRA on Prizepicks.
So if he hits 3 threes and gets 4 rebounds, he'll still be under.
That's correct. And our side bet is 23 fantasy points. Under. For me, over for you.
Yeah.
All right, everybody's going to be watching Grayson Allen. I'm hoping he does one of his cheap shot deals in the first quarter and gets thrown out. Then
he's going to hit 6 threes tonight.
6 threes?
No, I'm just kidding.
All right, Colin, put that up there.
No, I think he'll get 2 or 3 is what I think, but we'll see.
We will see. All right, man, good stuff. I want to thank our presenting sponsor, Prizepicks. Again, go to prizepicks.com. Sign up with that promo code Coach Talk. Get up to $100 free on that first deposit, dollar for dollar on that first one by using the promo code Coach Talk. And great games all across the boards here. I'll be back on the next NBA podcast with Deb now that we're tied 2-2.
Yeah,
it's getting really heavy now.
Up. Yeah, it's heating up.
Awesome stuff.
Series can go any way. Honestly, I think that series is a toss-up right now. I really do. It's got
to still win in Phoenix, and that's a big chore.
Yeah. Game 5 is the one to get for sure. So
I hope Deb's not going. So they win when she goes. So I'm hoping
I've
she
noticed
stays
that
home.
too. Yeah.
All right, Crash, great stuff. Look forward to the baseball today and definitely the basketball. Again, for those that jumped on or members, thanks for being part of our huge wins on Yahoo with an absolutely insane $34 investment to get back $6,350. That's the kind of ROI that we mess around with here at Coach Talk. We don't have to invest $10,000 to win $10,500.
Right.
We like to go for those little hits like 34 in a 63.50. I think that works. And I don't mean $63.50. I'm talking 6350.00. So if you had a piece of that, post it up there with us. We'd love to see it. And shout out to everybody else and jump in with us. Go to dfscoachtalk.com, sign up for as little as 3 days for $10, and you can be part of these big wins and this big ROI for us. So any final words, Crash?
No, I just kind of hit on it. There at the end, I feel the same way. You don't have to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars to win money, to win nice money, in this sport. So I won $1,500 earlier in the NFL last year with I think $15 is all I spent. So yeah.
And even you took down. Let's face it, and everybody plays different amounts. Invest 25 cents and won $20, and so when you take something down, it's all about everybody's bankroll is different. $20 is some serious plays. When you're playing quarters and dollars, and that's what it's all about. Sustainable growth. That's what we teach here at Coach Talk, contest selection, bankroll management, that. Oh, and we got a live action from all the dogs now.
Yeah.
Here comes the money. The dogs are out.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, appreciate you, and thank you everybody for listening in. And hopefully your dogs are also having some fun today as well. But thanks for listening, and we'll catch you again tomorrow. For us and the pups, we'll look to crush it in NBA, DFS, and Prize Picks.